She smiled while ruining everything I had planned. I didn't understand it at first. My own mother, my baby shower, and somehow everything felt wrong. My name is Emily Carter, and that day was supposed to be perfect. Soft music played in the background. White balloons floated gently near the ceiling. The smell of vanilla cupcakes filled the air. My best friend, Ava, squeezed my hand. "You deserve this," she whispered. "After everything." I smiled, or at least I tried to, because deep down something felt off. My mother, Diane, stood near the gift table, watching, silent, smiling, but it wasn't a warm smile. It felt calculated. You ever feel that? Like someone's pretending to be happy for you? That was her. And I didn't know why. "Mom, do you like the decorations?" I asked softly. She turned slowly, looked around, then back at me. "They're simple," she said. "Simple?" I swallowed hard. "I planned everything myself." "I can tell," she replied. Flat, cold. Ava shot her a look. "It's beautiful, Diane." My mom didn't respond. Instead, she picked up one of the cupcakes, examined it like it offended her, and then she put it down. Hard. That's when I felt it. The shift. The room didn't feel warm anymore. It felt like a setup. But for what? I tried to ignore it, focused on my guests, my baby, because this moment mattered. Or at least it was supposed to. Then the games started. Laughter, guesses, small jokes. Everything felt normal again, until my mother stood up, tapped her glass, and said something that changed everything. I'd like to say a few words. My heart dropped. Why now? She never does speeches. Everyone turned toward her, smiling, expecting something sweet. I should have known better. She cleared her throat, looked directly at me, then said, "I just hope this baby brings stability where there hasn't been any." Silence. Cold, sharp silence. My chest tightened. What did she mean? Ava leaned toward me. That was weird. Weird. It felt like a warning, or worse, an attack. I forced a smile. "Thanks, Mom." But she wasn't done. She stepped closer, lowered her voice slightly, but not enough, because raising a child alone isn't easy, Emily. My heart stopped. Alone? What was she implying? I glanced at my husband, Daniel. He shifted uncomfortably, avoided my eyes. "Why?" "Mom," I whispered. "What are you saying?" She smiled again, that same cold smile. "Just being honest." Honest or cruel? The room buzzed with awkward whispers. I felt exposed, humiliated, and completely blindsided. After everything I'd been through, why would she do this? Then it hit me. This wasn't random. This was planned. But why? I pulled Ava aside. "Something's wrong," I said. "She's doing this on purpose." Ava nodded. "Yeah, and Daniel, he's acting strange too." I looked back at him. He was on his phone, typing, fast, avoiding everyone, avoiding me. A cold feeling spread through my chest. What was he hiding? I walked toward him slowly. "Daniel," I said quietly, "what's going on?" He looked up, too fast. "Nothing," he said, "just work." Work? At my baby shower? I stared at him, waiting, hoping he'd explain. He didn't. Instead, his phone buzzed, and something inside me snapped. "Let me see it," I said. He froze, just for a second, but I saw it. That hesitation, that guilt. "Emily, not now," he whispered. "Not now." That's when I knew. Something was very, very wrong. "Give me the phone," I said again, my voice shaking now. People were watching. my mom included, smiling, waiting, like she already knew what would happen next. Daniel sighed. Then, slowly, he handed it to me, and I wish he hadn't, because the moment I looked down, my world shattered. Messages, dozens of them, from a contact saved as Mom, but not mine, his. And what I read next made everything finally make sense, and at the same time, completely destroyed me. My hands started shaking. I stared at the screen, hoping I was wrong, but I wasn't. The messages were clear, brutal, calculated. His mother and my mother were talking about me, about my baby, about everything. I scrolled slowly, each message hitting harder than the last. Diane, she's too emotional. She won't handle motherhood well. His mom, Daniel deserves better. You know that. Diane, I'm working on it. Just wait. My stomach dropped. Working on what? I kept reading. His mom and the baby? Diane, we'll deal with that after. After? After what? My vision blurred. I couldn't breathe. This wasn't just betrayal. This was planning. Against me. Emily, Daniel whispered. Let me explain. Explain? I looked up at him, tears burning my eyes. You knew. I asked. My voice cracked. You knew they were doing this. He hesitated. That was my answer. I didn't think it would go this far. He said quietly, not this far. I laughed. Bitter. Broken. You let them destroy me. I said. The room was silent again. Everyone watching. No one moving. Then Ava stepped forward, snatched the phone gently from my hands. What the hell is this? She snapped. Daniel didn't respond. Because he couldn't. There was no excuse for this. But I wasn't done. Not anymore. Something inside me shifted. The same girl who stayed quiet, who avoided conflict, she was gone. And in her place, someone stronger, angrier, done being controlled. I wiped my tears, turned toward my mother. She was still standing there, calm, composed, like none of this surprised her. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? I asked. She tilted her head, almost amused. I was trying to protect you. She said, protect me? From what? My own life. I shot back. You've always made bad choices, Emily, she replied coldly. I had to step in. Step in? You mean sabotage? You tried to break my marriage. I said. Her eyes didn't even flinch. It was already broken. That hurt more than anything, because part of me was starting to believe it. But then a voice cut through the silence. Emily, look at this. It was Ava, still holding the phone, her eyes wide, shocked. What? I asked. She turned the screen toward me. Another message thread. But this one was different. It wasn't between the moms. It was between Daniel and someone else, a name I didn't recognize. My heart pounded. I opened it, and there it was, the final piece. Daniel, she doesn't suspect anything. Unknown contact. Good. Once the baby's here, it'll be easier. Daniel, yeah, Mom says we can take custody. Custody? My knees almost gave out. Take my baby? Without me? This wasn't just betrayal. This was a plan, a full plan, to erase me, to take my child, to replace me. Daniel, I whispered, my voice barely there. You were going to take my baby? He stepped forward. Emily, listen. No, I screamed. The room froze. You don't get to explain this. Tears streamed down my face. But I didn't feel weak anymore. I felt powerful, because now I knew the truth, and truth changes everything. I turned to Ava. Call Rachel, I said. She nodded immediately. Rachel, my lawyer, and more importantly, my friend. Within minutes, she was on speaker. Emily, what's wrong? She asked. I took a deep breath, then said the words that changed everything. I have proof. Everything. Messages. Plans. Custody talk. Silence. Then Rachel spoke. Save everything. Don't confront further. I'm coming. Too late. I already had. But now, I had backup. I looked at Daniel, at my mother, at all of them. You thought I was weak? I said slowly. You thought I wouldn't fight back. No one spoke, because now they saw it. The shift. I'm not losing my child. I said, not to you, not to anyone. My mother scoffed slightly. You don't have a case. I smiled for the first time that day. A real smile. Actually, I said, holding up the phone, I do. And for the first time, her expression changed. Just a little. Fear. Good. Because what she didn't know yet was that Rachel wasn't just any lawyer. She specialized in cases like this: manipulation, custody fraud, family conspiracy. And with the evidence I had, they weren't just losing. They were finished. Weeks later, court was brutal. Every message exposed. Every lie revealed. Daniel couldn't even look at me. My mother tried to defend herself, but the judge wasn't buying it. Not after everything. In the end, I got full custody, full protection, and distance from both of them. Daniel lost everything. And my mother, she lost me. For good. Now, I sit in my nursery, holding my baby, peaceful, safe, finally free. And sometimes I think back to that day, that baby shower, the moment everything broke. Because without that moment, I never would have seen the truth. And without the truth, I might have lost everything. But I didn't. I fought back, and I won.